All right, everyone should be able to hear everyone fine. Just to be on the safe side, go ahead and speak, Hustle. Let's make sure everyone hears everyone.
Can I be heard clearly?
Yeah,
If not, please let me know.
I believe you can. Everyone
I'm
just.
like, damn.
All right, so got
All
a
right.
got a crazy show today, Hustle.
Mm-hmm.
First off, want to thank people in the chat only on Xbox. Megatron, what's up, Megatron? Man, you want a link to the show, man? Just hit me up, man. We gotta get you up on here. I can
Come
send
on
you the
through, man.
link up right now. I just have to resize the boxes up, but I could do that on the go, on the fly. I could do that easy.
Be nasty. I see you in there. And that's Mr. Hardy. I'm not sure how to pronounce your first name, kind sir, but Mr. Hardy, I see. Is that Ashley Gamer? Retro Nerd? Good name, by the way. I see y'all. Thank y'all for joining us, man. Thank y'all for joining us, for real.
All right, so he says that I'm a bit low. Is that a little bit better, man? I don't know. Some people ain't complaining. Maybe we need to check your settings and not my settings.
You know, I'm not able to hear like through the Zoom thing. I guess it worked like Discord, where I'm not able to like even notice that you're low because you sound fine to me.
Yeah, I think I sound fine. We'll see, man. We'll see. First off, thank you for coming to the Attic Show where we talk about the past, present, and future of gaming. Got my co-host, Hustle and Motivate. What's going on, Hustle? What you been playing lately?
Ooh, okay. So wait, what I've been playing, a little bit Uncharted. Been struggling with that. I've been playing, been in my Super Nintendo bag too, and I was testing out Burnout Revenge. I didn't stream it or anything, but I've been testing out Burnout Revenge to go along with my Retro Tank 5X. But I think I'm gonna say the hell with it. I'm gonna send my Xbox off to Stone Age Gamer. That they paid me to say it, but I'm gonna send it off to Stone Age Gamer to get it modded to have the HDMI out. I want like the best, like super best quality. So I'm going to end up doing that. But everything has been good. Like I just been running around. Highly anticipating Horizon Zero Dawn 2 or Horizon Forbidden West. What's that? Next week? That's next week. Yeah, that joint drop next week. So I'm anticipating that.
Horizon
Hustle's volume was a
Forbidden
little low.
West. Everyone
Am I?
else is Hustle too low, or is it maybe just his settings? Like on my settings, you're in the yellow, and I don't really feel comfortable putting you higher than the yellow. So we'll see a little bit more feedback, see exactly what we could do to adjust everyone. Okay, he's a little low.
Okay.
All right, I'll go ahead and raise him a
I
little
turned
bit.
it. Hey man, I turned it up on the goddamn. Pardon me. I turned it up on the daggone DBS. All right. Okay. All right. I'll follow y'all.
All right,
I could have
so
sworn I turned it up.
I
Let me know.
turned
Let
him
me know
up.
how it is now.
All right, so let's break this down. All right, first
Yeah. Let me
things
know if I'm
first.
too loud, y'all.
First things first. What else have you been playing, Hustle?
What else? I've been in my retro bag lately, man. The main thing right now is Uncharted 3. I checked out. I did have a chance to check out the Uncharted. What is this? There you go. I had a chance to play this for a brief period of time, just for a little bit. Um, I don't notice a difference graphically, but I'm playing on the performance mode, not the 4K mode, because I had to play this at 60 frames. Still is an amazing looking game. Uncharted Lost Legacy is the game that I'm talking about. If y'all couldn't see it, still looks amazing. It's just I'm getting back to that. So once I beat part 3, we on to part 4, and then we on to my favorite.
I hear that, man. You know, I've been playing. What's that game that everyone's been playing? The fighting game,
Sifu.
Sifu.
Sifu. Oh, okay.
So I've been playing Sifu. I've finally beat Dying Light, which we're going to talk about that briefly, and not
Oh.
necessarily the game. We'll probably talk about more about like the bugs and the state games come in these days, because I feel like that's more important than the actual game itself. Like, not to. I enjoy Dying Light, but I do feel like it's one of those prime examples where it's like, come on, guys, we need to do better on releasing games that function
Mm.
correctly.
Uh-oh.
Then we're going to talk about, have you played Sifu, Seifu, Geifu, Jeifu, Zivu? Like,
I have not. I have not. Only because I've been, I've just been in my retro bag. But from what I understand, Sifu was kind of like somebody compared it to Sekiro in terms of its difficulty. So you played it, so I kind of want your thoughts on it. But if it's anything like that, and it has like rogue elements, hey, listen, I tried Returnal and I put that thing right on down, dog. That's not my alley, dog.
it's
I can't.
different. I
I
actually
can't. I
think
can't do it.
you're, look, Returnal was different then Seafood, Seifu, Jfu, Vifu, like I don't know. Sifu. We're gonna call it Sifu. Is that what it's called? Sifu?
Yeah, it's called Sifu.
Okay,
yeah.
Sifu's a little bit different because I feel like we'll get to that. We'll get to that because we do have a whole topic related to that. Because I definitely want to make sure that we go into that correctly. We got a $5 super chat from Kindred Hardy. Probably butchered your name, but you know the deal by now. You know the deal. Throw Platinum Games Trust in the bushes. Oh, that's our finale. Our finale's talking about Platinum Games. I thought I was the only one with some slander when it comes to Platinum Games. I'm glad that people feel me in the comment section, man. We can all channel our dislike for Platinum Games together, man. I'm not saying that they make bad games. I'm saying they make games that don't appeal to me. But that's besides the fact. We'll get to that, man. We'll get to that. But first thing let's talk about, Hustle, is I'm sure you've seen the reviews for Dying Light 2 dropped. And then the disgust for the bugs happened right afterwards. Have you got a chance to play Dying Light or at least see the glitches and stuff that's happening with Dying Light?
I saw a couple of the glitches. That type of first person game, the way it relies heavily on movement, that's not particularly for me. It's just not a thing of mine. I didn't even play Dying Light 1. When it comes to games like that, when it comes to those types of games, and especially when it involves movement, I prefer third person. Hopefully somebody on PC can throw a third person mod in there so Hustle can have a good go at it. But I saw a lot of discussion on it, and I know you told me you played it and you beat it. I really want to know like your thoughts on everything. Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? I want to know that version of it first. Before we like really break this down.
So I went into like a huge rant on ILP. I'm not going to go too much into that because I already said that. If you want that logic, go over there, listen to the Iron Lords podcast. It's timestamped. First off, let me back up a little bit. All right, so I am officially confirming Addict Show will be on the Iron Lords podcast, Spotify, all those little media stuff. People ask for timestamps. I'm gonna be real with you guys. You're asking a lot from me, man. You're asking a lot. So what I'm going to do, because I do want to have a middle ground, there's no realm where I give you timestamps every podcast. It's just not happening. But what I'm going to try to do is I am designing an overlay right now. I have been designing an overlay. So what I'm going to do is kind of like, how the Iron Lords podcast has like on the left, they have like what topic we're on. I'm going to try to make it time-based where I can give you the timestamps in the podcast itself. Now, I have no clue how I'm going to do it. It's going to be a lot of trust and error, man. You guys got to work with me. I'm going to try. So I'm thinking like, I'm going to put like timestamps like on the top left, top right, bottom left. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try and we'll see how it goes. If not, going to have to visualize, in the timestamps, skip around, maybe I'll, because what I do plan on doing at the very least is I'm going to have, let me show you guys something real quick. Because I do want to give them a little bit of what I want to do. So this is how I'm probably going to set up some stuff, and tell me how the chat feels, because we don't really have a whole lot to talk about today. Like, be on the real.
It's a little light show. It's all good, yeah. We just want to kick it anyway.
This is how it will look if I like do the separate windows, because normally I crop them together. So I'll crop them separately. So let's say I make this just a little bit smaller, and I make this just a little bit smaller. All right, so let me transition that. Now, if you look in the middle, there's a little bit of room in the middle. Now, what I want to do for you guys, for the realm, because it's not for me, it's for you, is I want to put in the middle, I want to put like an Iron Lords podcast logo, and I'm going to have that sucker glow for different topics. So it'll glow, it won't glow for the beginning and end, but it'll glow red for the first topic, glow gold for the second topic, and glow maybe green for the third topic. And that's pretty much how I'm gonna do that. I'm going to start. We got some stuff that we're doing for ILP right now, so I'm not really looking into it right now. But probably here in the next month, I'm going to have a new overlay, and it's going to be multiple overlays. I'm going to try to make this unique. You know, it's obviously we're going to have our basic me and him just talking. And then what I'm going to do is, you know how everyone has like the gameplay? Now, I'm going to be real with you guys. You ain't getting gameplay from me every week. It's just not happening. But I'm willing to like do something like this and put the gameplay on the right, make it look all nice and fancy. And you know, I'm willing to do something like that, but I'm going to put the gameplay, like right now we're talking about Dying Light 2. In a minute, we're going to be talking about Dying Light 2. So I'll put Dying Light 2 in the right part while we're talking. And then, you know, Sifu, Jfu in the right part while we're talking Sifu. And that's how I'm going to go with that because, and then, you know, I'm going to have one where we have a guest because, you know, sometimes we do have guests. And I do want to make sure that we give the guests their flowers. So we'll be definitely doing that too. But what?
Shout out to D Nasty in the chat, and I was just thinking this as you were talking. We should do like I don't know if you watch Partner Interruption. I'm not because I don't know if you're a big sports guy, but typically with who's that? Michael Wellborn and Tony Kornheiser. What they do is they'll have like a topic. We'll say we're talking about what's this? Sifu, whatever. Say we're talking about Sifu. Instead of a counter to keep a timestamp, what they do is they may talk about that topic for about like 5 minutes or maybe a minute 30 in the very beginning. I'm not saying that we should do that for the time length, but I feel like we should have like a set time and then the time should count down. Like that, I was just thinking that too. Hey, real quick, I don't know, did you see BitCloud's request in the chat?
I saw this dude, Attic, over here sounding. That's all I saw. Did he like ask to come on the show?
He asked for the link. Yeah. Hey, Big Cloud, if you are available, you want to roll up?
I mean, if you want, I'm cool with it. Man. Yeah, we love when BitCloud comes in here because
that's my boy, man.
He be trying to come over here and act like he be saying these bars alone. You don't, man. You don't. I'm sorry, you don't. But I will give you are the PlayStation dude saying these bars. You're a reasonable PlayStation dude. So there's the link, man. Get yourself up in here. Look. So that's how I plan on doing it. What I plan on doing too is when we have like a big guest, I plan on having like their screen. Well, not even big guest. I guess in general, their screen's going to be bigger than ours.
Right.
We're going to be on the top. They're going to be on the bottom. And we're, you know, I've already reached out to Maddie Play. Spoiler alert, he's supposed to come on this week, but he's not feeling the greatest. So definitely, you know, send some love over to Maddie Play. We'll hopefully get him in here next week. If not, we'll schedule something, man. I'm going to get ACG up in here. I'm going to get Jeff Grubb. I am going to reach out to people like Fame Entertainment. I'm going to reach out to K Mega. I'm going to get a little bit like, I don't want to do it every week because I want the show to be me and Hustle. But I do think it's good if we have different perspectives a couple times a month. I don't know when we're going to do it. I got to get the overlays done first, man. Like right now we out here looking mad naked in these overlay streets, man. Like look at this.
So basic.
It's literally just a black background with me and him talking. But you know what? I'm okay with that.
Shout out to the 97 of y'all who just up ahead, just, you know, watching this rock. Yeah, we got it, y'all. We got it. You know, it's a work in progress. We appreciate y'all for joining us, you know, just each and every week. It's going to work itself out. I promise you that. I will promise you that. All right,
so let's go ahead and move our way back to this Dying Light 2 thing. So we're going to talk about how state of games come in these days. So would you think it's fair to say that games are coming in more broken than they ever have in the past?
Oh, that's a big fact. And here's the thing. See, back in the day, right, you can get a game, and I'm going to refer to the No Mercy thing for me, because on No Mercy back in the late 90s, it had a save glitch, the way you can play the game, and for the first batch of those games that came out, they actually were broken. So all the progress that you made, you couldn't fix it. It was nothing that you can do to fix it. I think it was something wrong with the battery, so they did a big recall on it. That didn't make as much noise as everything that we see now. What we see now, like, what was it? What was the name of that game, Addict? You used to jump from world to world. No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was like the biggest like offender coming out. Broken, unfinished, didn't live up to its full potential at said time. That was real ugly. Dude took the owner, he took y'all money and he went on vacation. He said, I'm not gonna tweet for a minute, but I got my feet kicked up, looking through the water and all that. He said, looking through the real blue water. So now, like, when we see everything now, it's like this used to happen back in the day, but the only difference was everything wasn't as big. We didn't have platforms like this one to like voice our opinion. We didn't have a Twitter back in the day. We had forums, but nobody on no forums. What's up, sir?
You know what's funny? People keep saying like the world got more sensitive. The world's always been this sensitive. It's just it's never been so easily to voice your opinion. Like these days, you can literally go on and tweet. If you have a big enough following, you could tweet on 9 a.m. and have that company broken by like 3 p.m. the next day. Like it's crazy. So you got Big Cloud Gaming in here, man. What's going on? What part of this show made you want to come on here? Because there's got to be something.
I mean, there were several parts. I mean, we got Attic here. Don't want to give me my props. Then we got Hustle being, Hustle, or looking like Darth Vader in his background. I see.
I'm definitely creeping on somebody.
So Big Cloud be doing act like he be saying these things. Excuse me, Attic. Excuse me.
I heard you heard me. I didn't stutter.
Excuse me, because I'm your one person that be saying what I be saying.
And who's that?
On ILP, that is. That's you too.
We all been saying that.
Nah, ain't no all. Nah, you don't get no flowers.
Oh, I don't get no flowers.
You only say it when it's convenient.
Oh man.
Nah, play. What's up though?
So same question to you, Big Cloud. Do you feel like we're getting to the point where maybe the industry is grooming us more to accept broken games at launch?
I mean, we're now seeing more service games coming to the player, right? So, and people are acceptable of that. So it's possible, but yeah, I can definitely see it. These fixulator games, that's why I dubbed them. We'll definitely see more of them in this case. I mean, Halo Infinite, we're still waiting on the other content that's going to drop. Well, when was that supposed to drop this year?
It was supposed to. They said we're
supposed to get a roadmap or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you're still missing your content there. So that already kind of sets the tone for other games and other companies. Like, God forbid if the next Destiny does do that type of route, right, where it launches with less features than the last one, and you're just waiting upon months for content. So, in a weird way, I would say yes, because the market's kind of shifting towards that way, where they want to have these games that just live, longer than just, or in terms of playability, they want them to live longer than just 2 years or a year and a half, vice versa. So yeah, it's definitely possible.
I feel like we've always had some form of live service games and multiplayer when it comes to DLC, long-term commitments on the game. I could name Halo. I mean, in some ways you could say the Uncharted games were some form of lives as a service. It's just now games like Destiny, games like Fortnite, like they've showed that you can fund an entire game off of these practices. And I don't think that we should do everything. I've always been, when it comes to games as a service, I want games as a service to be implemented in games that make sense. I don't want them forcing it.
So would you be more acceptable of GTA 6 if it went that route?
I mean, at this point, GTA already is a games as a service. Like, they didn't upgrade anything on the campaign. They focused entirely on the single player. If anything, GTA 6 was a multiplayer game that they gave you a great single player campaign.
But what if they treat the single player like that? Like, they kind of experimented with the Franklin mission. Like, I'm talking about, like, they give you majority of the story, but then like they'll give you other acts, a part of it, what I mean, that are substantial to it, and they'll add upon that over the months type of thing. Because personally, the way, like, if you look at the report, I don't know if y'all saw how much they sold on GTA. They sold 160 million. Like, bro, and they're getting ready to launch this joint again on PS5 and Series X. So wherever you go, GTA is always in the top 10, right? Now, this sucker sells another 40 million. That's 200 million copies of a game that's been 9 years old now at this point, and they're going to charge you this at full price again. And they're teasing you, saying, hey, we just now started production on our new ones. Like, no. So
I mean,
well, I'll say this in regards to what you were saying, Big Cloud. I don't think that they'll do that again because I don't think that the fan base will let them get away with that. Yeah, I know they did.
I don't know about the shark cards. Cards.
I know they did wild numbers, and they even put the Franklin story expansion, quote unquote, the Dr. Dre expansion. They put it online. I don't think their fan base let that ride again. I think
you don't think so?
Nah.
You don't think so? I mean, GTA. I don't know, man. I mean, it's not Nintendo, right? They're not Nintendo. Obviously, they got a standard and people hold them accountable. But I don't know, man. People have been very like
they're easily going to get away with that.
Yeah,
they're easily going to.
At
the end of the day, like I get what you're saying, Hustle. But there's more people playing that multiplayer than played that campaign. By far, probably like 3-1 by far.
So what if they did a reverse, Addict? What if they gave you the multiplayer first at GTA 6 and then the story came later?
Oh no.
I don't think they would do that because they're not known for doing stuff like that. And I think that they're one of the companies that their reputation hasn't really been tarnished too much. So I don't think that they would risk their reputation, but I would still play it because I really enjoyed GTA Online. I think it got a little crazy there towards, the end of I was playing it, but I enjoy the concept of it. It's just, it is one of those things where they want you to put more time in that game than I put in Destiny. And,
they lost me with the business side. You know, talking about where you buy like your own little empire and like you invest into like the stock market type of thing they were trying to build upon. It's like, okay, we're gamers. We're not trying to go to the moon here, but that's literally how they try to do. They even did the story like that. You have to like invest all your money into the stock and then become a billionaire. You use the stock market. So it's like, so I don't know.
It's going to determine how exactly much time they have. We don't know how much time they have at the moment. I'm just curious to see exactly what is going to be done with the bugs in the system, like in the gaming industry. I was really happy to see Cyberpunk treated the way it was. As much as because I like that PlayStation said, regardless of PlayStation done it for their own motives, they didn't want to keep refunding games. I was loving the fact that PlayStation's like, look, your stuff is so broken, we got to pull it. And I kind of wish that would be done for the majority thing. Like, look, I'm not saying if you got minor issues when a game launches, like some server issues, that's different. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of things you could do when it comes to server issues. But if your game is legitimately broken and there's multiple game breaking bugs and it's not functioning correctly, there's massive marketing that was done that isn't present in the game. I want Steam to pull that shit. I want Xbox to pull that. I want PlayStation to pull that. I want Epic Game Store to pull that because I want I want every big store owner to put their foot down and say, if you launch broken, we will cost you millions of dollars.
As they should, though. That cyber. Well, I know we're talking about like different bugs in different games, and we're going back to Dying Light in a minute. But I remember like Cyberpunk. I remember when the night that joint dropped, and nobody knew how messed up it was. I think people had thoughts, but nobody knew.
Everybody got the cheers.
Yeah. Yo, everybody was. Oh my god! Yeah. Shout out to them, man.
You already know. Jesus, everybody got the chairs. They ain't saying nothing.
Nope. And it was just the thing. The way it was like, all right, maybe it's some bugs here and there. It turned out it's so bad that game isn't fully fixed as of today. It's still not fully fixed, and the game came out 2 years ago now. So
still waiting on that PS5 release.
That's a whole thing. Nah, ain't nobody waiting on that joint. I think they better get back to Gwent, get back to the card game. And they better get back to the Witcher 4. It definitely might be a wrap, but nah, Addict, you there right. And I laughed in the beginning when you was talking about Cyberpunk. I just laughed because it was just funny as hell that you came out and said it. But they really got to put their foot down because you allowing broken products on your platform at that point. If I'm a casual and I don't know no better, like just say I don't know no better. Just say I bought that game for my little nephew who really wanted to play it. Hey, this ain't working, but he don't know why it's not working. He might think it's Steam or something, but he think it's not working. So yeah, that's the thing that could really cause trouble on your end, but people not want to go back to your storefront. So that's I mean, PlayStation was the first one that they bossed up and said, "Nah, we not allowing this." And I think as of recently, it just came back to the PlayStation storefront. Big Cloud, I want you to correct me if I'm wrong on that. I want to say I read something. Sure. I could be wrong. Somebody in the chat let me know.
It probably did because I think there's some patches that dropped for the game, so it probably is on the storefront again. Maybe.
So
I'm not sure.
Just to clarify, what would you guys consider broken games that should have been pulled off the store?
A Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk's definitely one of them.
I think that's pretty much.
I think Master Chief Collection should have got up out of there. I think Battlefield. I think Battlefield 4 should have got up out of there.
I missed that one.
Yeah. What else?
Yeah. It's a lot of games that didn't launch.
Okay, what about games that launch functioning, but they completely lied to their consumer base about what's in the game, like No Man's Sky?
I was going to say that.
Was Outriders one of those?
Outriders was
Outriders. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah.
Do you think that games like No Man's Sky that lied to the marketing, nothing they're saying is in the game? Obviously, they turned that around. It's working now. It's functioning. It has a lot of the original features that they promised in the game, but at the time, none of that was in the game. Do you think those type of games should be pulled as well? Like that, it's like look like, and I'm not saying that you just, I promised you a certain feature and it's not there, but I'm saying like I promised you serious features that's not in the game, like co-op, stuff like that. Do you think those should be pulled?
No Man's Sky, it would have hit different if you would have said it was more of an ambition for what we wanted to do down the road. That would have been better because then he would have been like, yeah, we got most of it. You know what I mean? I get what they were trying to do with that, but personally, No Man, it kind of redeemed itself for a little bit. So I would say No Man's Sky is okay, but it took a minute. You know what I mean? Marketing was definitely not right there. But there are a lot of games that have these crazy, like somebody's posting in the chat, Christopher, that's true. Aliens, Colonial Marines.
Yeah.
Colonial Marines said we
Fallout 76.
Fallout, that's wow. Shout out to D Nasty for that. That's Fallout, and shout out to Todd Howard over there at Bethesda. He said, when that joint came out broke, the first people he hit up was Xbox. He was like, how we fix this? Like when stuff like that happened, you just gotta delay your game, dog. Like, look, I don't know how much money it costs to delay a game. I don't know how much money it costs to like put a patch in the game, because a lot of games we see they get like day one patches and all that. I don't know how much bread that costs, but you gotta believe especially when you got like a games as a service and stuff like that, you gotta believe that you're gonna make that money back. So even if you gotta push it out just like maybe a month or two, or in Cybercase should have just delayed that joint. Oh, Cyberpunk, they should have delayed.
Cyberpunk.
That's a Cybercase. Cyberpunk should have delayed what they was doing. But when you run across these problems and those problems are there, like don't play yourself. Look, sometimes you gotta be like, hey, look, this ain't working the way that it should, and we can't put a Band-Aid over a bullet wound. So like, because your reputation is on the line, and that's the other thing. And I do want to go back to CG Project Red for a minute. Bro, the way that they amped up Cyberpunk, and like you got to live with that now.
Well, the thing about Cyberpunk, so this is where I got to take a little bit of fault. Well, not fault, right? But I got to take a little bit of heat off them. The community overhyped it. You know what I'm saying? They were holding them to like The Witcher.
I'm one of them too, by the way.
Yeah. The Witcher, like everybody, that was like the main thing. They was like, oh, you guys don't think it's gonna be this great because Witcher was good. This, that, and the third. I'm sitting going, we haven't even seen the game. Half the stuff they talking about, they were moving stealthily. You know what I mean? Dude's like, oh, but it's gonna be better. You know what you're talking about. This stuff's here. Third person cutscenes are here. The damn game comes out. Were there any third person cutscenes? I'm like, dude, stop. Y'all looking silly right now. And then, then we get to the glitches. It's like, no. Like, I don't think anybody, don't get me wrong. Everybody has a bias. Everybody has like a specific, preference or whatnot. Sure. But let's keep it a buck. Whenever a game that you know damn well, when they told you flat out on paper was going to be there, the moment they start ripping out core features, and you can throw Halo into this when they said the co-op's not there, right? Any game that rips out core, any studio that rips out core features from any game, it's like, bro, you have to really start looking at that different from what you see.
But Big Cloud, though, I'd rather take a Halo Infinite situation, because at least when that multiplayer
worked.
It worked well, and it worked well, by the way, even though a lot of game modes.
But what was the biggest thing?
What?
But what was the big thing you were hyped for Cyberpunk, right? Aside from the world, you were hyped for that third-person customization.
It was the cars you supposed to customize. A lot of that stuff got cut.
All that stuff got cut. And dude was like, well, you can look in mirrors around the world. Are you really going to be looking around looking for damn convenient mirrors to look at your character? No, you're not doing that.
It's just the one mirror in the apartment. And I wouldn't keep off that no more. Yeah, I feel that, man. I feel that, though.
Like, don't get me wrong. Some games are cool with first person. They work. But sometimes a third-person perspective can really amplify a game. I think Cyberpunk would have been better if it launched better, obviously, but it was in third person. I think we would have appreciated it more, especially when we first saw it, that first showcase when he jumped in the car and drove off. It's like it hit different now because it's in first person. Like, yeah, it don't look the same.
I think my issue with where things are right now with the industry is just how accepting people are. Like, instead of attacking, it's kind of like the console war stuff. Instead of, Battlefield 2042 ain't it. Don't buy that. Let them fix their stuff, then buy it. People are like, give them time. Give them time for what?
Yeah.
Like, explain to me. Give them time for what? They didn't have no problem taking my money at all. So why should I give them time to get they stuff together? Look, it's different if you bought the game and you was like, it's kind of messed up, but it is what it is. I'll wait for it.
Right.
But, I'm a wait. But it's another thing when you're on Twitter telling other people not to be upset. Because just because you ain't upset does not give you the reason, the right, the audacity to say that I'm upset. I'd be upset whatever I want to be upset with. And if I paid $60, $70 on PlayStation for a game that does not work, Returnal, and you tell me not to voice my opinion on the matter, guess what? You getting muted. Because at that point, it's like, look, we got to be vocal, because if we're not vocal and we don't start really coming down on these developers and publishers for launching broken games, it's not getting better. It's going to get worse.
Yep. You know, another thing that's kind of telling too, it was that game, it was Anthem. Remember Anthem? Anthem also had a bad
Yeah, actually, we got a $5 super chat from Kendrick Hardy. Anthem was all around a failure content functions, and that was actually in the game. The downgrade. Jeez. Yeah, I agree with you, man. Anthem, and what's funny is I was on the Anthem hate train.
I know you were.
Man.
That's why you got quiet.
And funny is your boy never left the Anthem hate train. I've never booted up Anthem besides the demo. I want to point out that the addict was right. You can come at me. Man. You can attack me. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, I was right. That game came out and it didn't hit the way it was. And Destiny, my mistress, is still alive. So we got a $5 super chat from Dabuck. Hold up, Mike.
No, the doctor.
The doctor. Yep. Like, there's like something on my screen a little bit, so I couldn't say the doctor. 63. It wasn't 83.
63,
Brother Addict is preaching. It's like, look, like, that's my only thing. Is like, I just don't want it to be a standard. That's all. Like, I don't mind if some games, depending on even games like Cyberpunk, games like Bethesda makes, as long as I can realistically understand why your game came out a little buggy, I can get down with that. But if your game comes out and it's not playable, it's not buggy, it's not playable, it's different. There's a difference between.
Hold on, Addict. Y'all know what we forgot though? WWE 2K19.
Oh Lord, when they turned to human crabs, it was 2K20.
It was 2K20. It was so bad they skipped a year and they coming back this year.
Oh yeah, it's 20. Yeah, it's 20. Yeah, bro. You know what's funny? I'm glad you mentioned it. Did you see the gameplay for the second one?
That joint looked horrible.
It looked uninspired. Like, what did you learn? You didn't learn anything. You haven't even seen that much gameplay up to this point. I'm like, bro, AEW and Yuke's about to slap y'all back to reality when they drop Ace. I cannot wait. Yeah. I cannot wait for you to take the crown back.
And there's a big issue too that I pulled on ILP, that I'm not saying every publisher out there does it, but I do feel like sometimes article writers, review writers, people that write on media sites, I feel like occasionally, if your game isn't high caliber, like that Cyberpunk, that Call of Duty status, that huge caliber publisher that has all these games, and your game just has one good game, I do feel like sometimes the reviewer will be a little bit more hard. It's like, look, I just ignored all the nonsense that happened on Cyberpunk a couple years ago. I ignored all that stuff, but guess what? I'm gonna put a magnifying glass on Dying Light 2. I'm gonna tell you every issue I have, but I'm gonna give Anthem. I don't think Anthem got a 9 out of 10 or anything, but I'm gonna give Cyberpunk a 9 out of 10. Remember that fiasco thing that happened with Metal Gear Solid 5 with the concentration camps, pretty much, where they flew you out to the place and made you review it there?
That's hey, y'all got it. That's oh
god.
Oh,
Maybe see that many risk in games now. Y'all notice that? Like everybody has to like tone down and like give you a certain product. Like it's not like everybody's going ambitious with stuff. Just not doing it. Like,
well, I mean,
can't be too brutal. Games can't be too. You know what I mean? They just can't. They have like a ceiling they have to go to. It's sad.
You know, we're about to.
They were very creative.
We're about to get to Sifu. You played that, right, BitCloud?
Sifu? What's Sifu?
Whatever.
Oh, man.
Sifu,
Sorry.
Zifu, Gifu. I don't care. We got a $5 super chat from Kendrick Hardy. No time given. Battlefield 3 and 1 and 5, 1.5 years before it's playable. Why keep pre-ordering so dumb? All right. Ooh. Let me hone in on that super chat for one brief moment. I agree. These games shouldn't come out and they should be playable not 1.5 years after they come out. But at the same time, I can never blame the person pre-ordering the game. They're excited for the product. They want to get the product. There's a lot of pre-order stuff that goes into the product. Sure, sometimes you get that stuff after the game comes out. But if you're just going to get it, why not? Why even wait at that point? And I understand that the pre-ordering scene gives developers and publishers, we're going to make this money so we can do whatever we want. But at the end of the day, we should never blame the consumers for spending their money. We should blame the people that's providing the product that doesn't work.
All right, I want to respond. Shout out to Lady Fox Fire here in the chat. She said she was very disappointed with The Division, Gears 5, and Anthem. And I'm going to stop it right there. Battlefield 2042. Hey, yo, if you pay for that, yo, shout out to you for that because you got it. But no, but the Gears 5 thing, that's going to hit my heart a little bit too. I wasn't a Gears dude up until that point. I started with Gears 5. And that was like the first time I saw a game go up, then go down, then go up, then go down.
Oh my God. I'm going to have to hit Erica up because we're going to have a long chat about you.
Oh, no, that's cool. Like, but they knew that though. No, they knew that. That's how I met them, actually.
I know I'm saying. That's why you keep saying it goes up now because you met Erica. It was playing it. That's the thing.
No. Well, of course. My
So we got another super chat real quick from Kendrick Hardy. Addict, we called that during the EA live demo of Anthem. We was all there. We felt it was a failure leaving the demo and we couldn't play. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. And it's like I said, I don't want to my thing is I want to point to take the spotlight off the people pre-ordering the game. And I want to put all the spotlights on the developer and publisher. I don't want none of the spotlight. Because to me, Kendrick, I feel like it's one of those things where if we start, and I'm not saying you were doing, I'm saying I see that a lot on Twitter. You know, don't pre-order a game until it comes out. But to me, that's just diverting the blame to someone else. Like we need, at the end of the day, we're consumers. We buy shit. That's what we do. And that's why my mindset is we should never blame the people spending the money. Sure, you could call us dumb for spending money. I'm down for that. You call me an idiot all you want. You can sit there. You can hashtag addict don't buy that shit. I'm going to be like, I still bought that shit. So, you know, like, I get that. We got a $5 super chat from Christopher Jetzer. Whatever. Jetzer. I guess Dying Light 2 had a lot of cut content from the original E3 trailer. However, I'm having fun with it on PC, but I didn't realize how much it changed. Yeah, I will say some of those. Did you guys see those downgraded things?
Yeah.
No.
They were pretty significant, Hustle.
Pretty significant. They improved on a lot, though. But at the same time, it does like a lot of the heart. I don't know if you feel like that. It kind of just been cut a little bit from this game. Like it's lost a little bit. I do think like it's not bad, but it feels like you lost a little ambition.
and part of me gets on my nerves on that too, because it's like, why put that energy out there and try to act like you can meet it? Like Ubisoft, stop doing that. Show us what the game looks like at launch. You can even have a little bit of a downgrade. Something that we have to get Digital Foundry to show us a downgrade. So, like, you know, famous thing was the Puddlegate from Spider-Man. People attacked. There's this is something to do with the day and night cycle. No, it's not. That particular scene was high definition. They really put a lot of detail into that because that was what they was promoting the game with at the time. And people are like, oh, that's not what happened. I'd be like, if you took that scene and the artistic change from that scene and you put that across the whole game, it was definitely downgraded. Now, did that mean the game was worse than it was? No, the game was still good. To you guys, I think it was average as hell. But, it is what it is. I just want the energy taken off the people that's calling the people out. You should have looked at the Insomniacs. You should look at the Techlands. You should look at the EAs and say, we don't like this. Now, downgrading's different because I do think that that's a marketing thing. I don't think we're getting rid of that. I think it's sleazy.
I don't know about that. After the Watch Dogs things, I don't ever want to hear that.
I'm about to say that Watch Dogs E3 trailer.
The thing is, though, is the Watch Dogs thing was bad, but we still getting downgraded looking games.
So was Anthem though. We saw Anthem,
but Anthem was still. The thing is,
bro.
Anthem. Anthem. Hold up, let me talk. Anthem was definitely downgraded, but you could still see it looked a nice, good game. Now, I'm not saying Dying Light 2 don't look good, but there is some things where I'm just like, I'm looking at it. It looks like really. It looks like, those, like that old Gears of War effect that they would put on it to make everything look like really like
gray and gritty.
I feel like a lot of Dying Light has that. There's not like a lot of colors. Like that's why purple, when you see the UV lights, just pops out so well because everything else about the game is gray. Spider-Man Miles Morales was the best Spider-Man. Was better than Spider-Man 2016 by a long shot. By 18, whatever, man. The reason I thought it was a 2016 is because it was 2016 game.
real quick before we move on, RRD and Carlos Alvarado. Hey, Gears 5 was fun for me, but we're not gonna sit up here and act like it wasn't broken at launch. But we're not gonna sit up here and act like that game didn't have its ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys, whatever you want to use.
But here's the thing. Whatever. Here's the thing with Gears. Gears wasn't broken at launch. The servers were broken at launch. Because me and Smooth, I don't know why they put the single player attached to the servers. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Because me and Smooth played it literally the night before it went public, and we woke up to finish it, and we couldn't get into a game. Like and that hurt. Like, and that's another thing. We've completely went way into a circle. That's fine. We got $5 super chat from Kendrick Hardy. I'm saying pre-ordering after they repeated failures is dumb. Let me clarify. I'm just saying you have to rebuild the trust. I agree with you. But even at that point, I still will say if I buy every Final Fantasy game after they've let me down for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, you easily could call me dumb. I will accept that. I might get like a dumb beanie with dumb players across the top and wear that when I'm being real dumb. But at the end of the day, I completely understand that, and I value and I appreciate that kind of standpoint. But I do think even if I'm being dumb, which I've been dumb a lot with buying games, it's still my money. It's not my job to make sure that product comes out and works right. It's their job to make sure that product comes out and works right. Now, I've always been one of those people when it comes to standing together with people and make sure stuff works. I've always been one of those people that if there's enough of a movement, I'm down. I'm there. Like the Battlefront 2, I'm down. I'm there. Like I got to feel like me standing against the trend is going to work because I'll be real with you guys. We're not the casual consumer. The casual consumer is what spends the majority of this money into the market. So my standpoint is, unless I see a lot of the media jumping on it, a lot of the influencers, kind of like we're seeing with NFTs.
Yeah.
Unless I see a huge stature of people standing against something, I'm going to fall back. Because I ain't getting a target put on my head for nothing. It's got to come from
NFTs. Nintendo just started their own, didn't they? They got a pass.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Well, what's funny is my brother, he was like, why hasn't IOP made its own NFTs? I was like, look, I was like, Zachary, I was like, the gaming industry is fighting back on NFTs. I was like, we would get canceled, which I don't agree with NFTs. I would never even suggest it in the first place. But I was like, if we did NFTs, IOP would get canceled the next damn day. Like,
Yeah.
Who's he's a voice actor. I cannot think of his name.
Troy Baker.
Troy Baker, yes, has an NFT, and
he turned it down. He's not doing it no more.
Oh, he ain't doing it no more.
He reversed it. He
yeah.
literally reversed and said an apology afterwards. He was like, "I'm sorry for those who were vocal that I labeled as trolls." I'm sitting going, Troy.
Nah, you know what he meant.
You know what you meant.
AKA, I'm about to lose all the good credibility I've built up over the past.
They was about to get my man all the way out the
like. See, do you when you see stuff like
that golf club for real?
When you see stuff like that, do you feel like we should support them less because we feel like they're disgenuine, or?
Look, I'm not even mad at nobody for making their money, dog. Like I think I'm more mad at the fact that he kind of backed down.
I think I would have had more respect if the man came out and said, "Look, they was offering me a bag," but I clearly see you guys don't want that happening, and I respect the opinions of my followers over this type of bag. And then he puts that thing, he's like, "But guys, they were offering me a big bag." Like,
I mean, but you know what they'll say: all money ain't good money. In particular, hey, listen, man, if y'all know what an NFT, of course it does. But if y'all know what an NFT is, I saw a video on it. And I think I came out more confused afterwards. I'm like, yo, bro, nah, I'm good. I said, I don't really want nothing to do with that. But yo, everybody, like, I don't know, we supposed to be talking about but
imagine me doing an NFT, just like a picture like this.
Bro, hey, listen, I don't know who I was talking to. I said, no,
this NFT right here, NFT? Right? I give you right now for $5.99. And if you guys really feeling me, man, you don't like the Xbox, I got you.
Man,
but this one here is $15.99 because of the $10 PlayStation tax.
I mean, yeah, I mean, but a lot of the, and I do want to bring it back to, the very first topic that we were talking about Downlight 2. Hey man, look, I pre-order games just because I want to hurry and buy it and get it out the way, so I don't have to worry about it later, whether I get it on PC or get it on console.
Yeah, impulse.
Sometimes you got it. Sometimes you take the wins with the losses. Sometimes it might come out perfect, a la Uncharted. I'm being biased, of course, but other times it might not. So I mean, it's just a chance you take. And plus, like if you're gonna play it and you're gonna get it in like that, you might as well just pay it right now while you're not even thinking about it. So when the joint, go up for preload, then it's typically what I do. And I have very fast internet. But when the game does go up for preload, I already got it. So by the time I get home from work, I don't got to worry about that portion of it either. So I mean, there's a bunch of different reasons why we pre-order. I'm actually sorry to hear a lot of the things about Downlight 2 because I saw a few other reviews on it. A lot of people, it's like up and down, positive and negative, but it seems like it's more positive.
It should be ironed out in a couple of weeks, but it's sad that unfortunately that they have it now. I don't see them lasting for that long. The glitches and whatnot.
I mean, at the end of the day, I just want the industry to improve, and I don't feel like I know the majority of these devs don't want the games coming out. I know there's a reason the majority of this happens is because publishers push for, they want to get it before the next financial quarter, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And some of this has worked out for some publishers and developers, but, there's a chance it doesn't. And with like CD Projekt Red, if you went back and asked them, do you want to delay this another year or coming out? I'm pretty sure every single person in that office, including the people that pushed it out, is going to say, let's delay this a year because it didn't work out well for them. Like it really hurt their company as a whole.
I think the government had something to do with that though, Addict. The Polish government had something to really say about what was going on over there. So that's why I don't particularly blame. I know we was kind of crapping on them earlier, but and rightfully so, but that they were their hand was forced a little bit. So and I don't want people to forget that either. We know it was like a super bad experience and everything, but their government kind of.
On the bright side, Addict, we did have one game that had a super smooth launch. You think about it.
Oh, what's that?
Master Duel.
Oh, Master Duel?
Yeah.
That must be Yu-Gi-Oh!
Man, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Man. Look, I don't want to go too much in Yu-Gi-Oh! But man, like I was at my girlfriend's house. I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm feeling myself because I'm winning over and over again. But then I start playing people that actually know how to play. Then I start losing over and over again. $5 super chat to Kendrick Hardy. Make your money. Let people be suckers like addict and pre-orders. I'm really bad with pre-orders. And I really am. Like, I think the only person I know that's worse than me is Kid Smooth. Kid Smooth will buy anything. It doesn't matter what it is. He's gotten a little bit better throughout the years. That's why it's so amazing to share a digital library with Kid Smooth, because when I attempt to buy it, he's already bought it. But, since me and him both come up as content creators, we get the majority of the games through review codes these days, so we don't have to really worry about that. But, man, there was a time where I was buying a game every week. And I'm glad to say that time is over. But let's move on to the game we just recently bought. It's called Sifu, Sifu. All right, so I'm assuming a lot of you in the chat have played it. I'm kind of curious to hear your opinion. Put it in the
I personally have not. So
talk to you guys in the chat. Tell me how you guys feel about it. And hold up.
It says Sifu.
I just
what is a Sifu? It's seafood, like seafood.
Like seafood, yes.
But Sifu. Sifu.
Look, I will say it however I want. All right, so let's talk about Sifu. Let's talk about
play
Sifu.
Shaq Fu for saying that.
So, Sifu. Let's talk about Sifu. Sifu is a game that's came out, and it's kind of like it's like a corridor beat 'em up where you go from one room to another. I like the way that they've handled stuff, and I like the way that they haven't handled stuff. I think it's a really unique concept. I do think that the controls are a little janky, and I feel like I'm not control over my character sometimes. Like, sometimes if someone comes too close to me, I'll be beating someone up, and I'll be about to finish him. And then this dude gets too close to me, and my character's like, I'll come back to you later. I'm fighting you now. Like, and I don't like that. Like, there's not like a lock-on button, and I'm really annoyed with that, because I feel like if you're having multiple characters around you, there needs to be a lockdown button where I can focus on one person at a time, because I feel like this game is difficult, but it's harder because of the conditions that the controller scheme gives you. Like, and I really enjoyed it. I got to the second boss my first go. And there's only 5. But what I really enjoy about the game is just how fluid the controls feel when they work. But when they don't work, man, it's annoying. I'll be sitting there like thinking I'm about to win, and then all of a sudden I'm fighting this big dude over here now. So I've learned that you have to like dash towards them, because I think it goes off like the like kind of like an AoE thing, where if they come into a certain diameter around you, you're naturally going to like lean towards them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And sometimes it just happen randomly. And I know neither one of you played. I don't think Hustle, you played it, have you?
No, I haven't, but I do have a couple questions.
Okay.
So I was listening to Weapon Wheel this past Sunday, and BG had kind of went into his whole thing about it. So apparently this is more like Mortal Kombat, and what I mean by that is, like, in order to block, first off, you don't use the directional pad to play this game. You use the analog stick, right, Addict?
Yes, the analog stick.
How would they, like, this is more like,
I will agree with you. Sometimes,
yeah, like, it's weird. You have to block up and block down, which to me,
well, you could do a general block, but when someone comes out with like a weapon, you're gonna wanna like kind of like sleeve to the side, like. You don't want to just block, because if people hitting you with like poles and stuff, they're gonna get through that block pretty fast. That's why they give you that.
Guard?
Yeah, that's why they like if they're swinging some kind of weapon at you, you can like strive to the back a little bit and just miss it entirely. You're not blocking it; it's not hitting you, and you could do the counter attack immediately. And I really enjoy the game, but it's like I said, the only issue I have another issue where this is one of the most unique mechanics that I've ever seen in gaming, where it's like if you die, you age, and
you get wiser with defeat. Basically, that's what they're saying.
Well, the more times you age, the stronger you get, but the less health you have. So you could do a lot more damage when you're in your 70s, but you get hit like once or twice and it's a wrap. So what what I would appreciate it on here is a little bit more of a cinematic approach. Now, I know it's probably because of budget concerns and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, the budget of the game is not my concern. I'm still going to give my opinion. I'm still going to talk my shit. So
you wanted more of a returnal approach, like when you die?
No.
Like, you do like the cinematic.
Kinda.
Like,
but like when you get killed and you fall to your death, I wanted there to be like one of those things where it zooms out and it did you guys I don't know if you guys seen, for the people that seen the Witch Queen DLC trailer, it showed the hive being regenerated from the light. I wanted to see more of that where, you're on the ground, you're messed up, and you see yourself aging while you're waking up. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And I don't think that they did that well enough, and they don't really they don't explain a whole lot of why you have this ability either. So I'm just like, I get what it is. It's kind of like, a beat 'em up where you have 5 levels. The point is to get through the levels as easy and efficiently as possible and keep that young age, because you have to go through 5 levels without dying of old age. And that might seem easy to the people watching the chat, but all it takes is like dodging the wrong way and you've lost a couple years. And how the aging mechanic works is, let's say I die, you get like 1 death counter. You have these things, I call them the Goku characters because they like glow yellow or something like that. So if you beat like key characters or these Goku characters, it lowers that counter. So let's say I die 3 times, I have 3 counters, but then I kill a Goku character, it goes down to 2. So now when I die, I age 2 years. Or it'll be 3 years. Because when you die, you gain 1. You age 3 years. So the more you die, the more you're going to age. So let's say that you do really good. You only die 1 time in the first place. When you get to the second place, you're going to have an aging counter of 0. And when you die, you're only going to age 1 time because you had 0 and you just get that 1 from the death. And I think I think it's a unique thing. And I honestly think that someone needs to buy this studio because this kind of concept is so unique. And regardless if they didn't have the funds to properly do this, I want to see a Sifu, Jfu. I want to see a second one that has the correct funding. And you see, and keep in mind, how the game's about revenge. You're going after the people that did wrong by you at the beginning of the game. So, and when you come across these individuals, there's 5 of them, obviously 5 levels, 5 people. All it really is you walk in, he looks at you, you look at him, and they might as well have the Mortal Kombat announcer saying fight. There's really no cinematics explaining this emotion.
There's no dialogue.
Yeah, there's no real emotion between you and them, and there might be some emotion with some of the higher end characters, like the person who actually did the wrong. Because the people you're fighting now is pretty much the person that did the wrong's lackeys. It's his friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's all I wanted. And look, this game's a great game. And I honestly feel like there's a lot of people that need to pick this game up. I think it's like $40 if you don't get the deluxe edition.
So it's $40 right now, and it's made by a company named Slow Clap, and I almost said Slow Mo, but it's made by Slow Clap. These are the same people who made Absolver, and I was just looking at the trailer just now. The combat does seem very, very similar. From just looking at this trailer, how it's. Well, I ain't gonna say it's a lot of one-on-ones because I've seen people get jumped in this, that, and the third, but it's like. It's kind of somebody compared it to Sekiro on Twitter. So if y'all play
it's a little bit. It's similar. It is similar.
Yeah. So I when they said that
but I will say Sekiro is better balanced. Sekiro is better balanced.
Yeah, it comes down to your posture.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Well, I'm gonna say this. When they said Sekiro, it scared me the hell away from it. I got that joint on PC. I don't want no smoke of Sekiro. Let me be the first to tell you that. But a lot of we saw. I don't know if y'all saw it, but somebody beat this game in like 2 hours. Somebody ran through
I can totally see that because I beat the first level in like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Like what you're going to get timed in this game because of the amount of dying that you do. I'm pretty good at seeing patterns, but when you put me in a Kung Fu game, apparently I'm a virgin in this level, man. Like I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm sitting here.
I got a question.
What?
Well, how's the music? How's the audio?
Music's
Is,
good.
like, the audio
It's okay. I wouldn't say it's anything special. Keep in mind, probably like Cognito and King David and Solve. This is they stuff. Like this is what they grew up on. They probably like the soundtrack more than I do. I just think it's cool. Like it's something like special. We got a $5 super chat from 706 Gamer. Saifu, Sofu, Jofu, Jfu stole the age mechanics in Sifu from a game called Chrono Before the Ashes. I don't know about that. I don't know. I didn't play that game. If they stole it, then they stole it.
Y'all chop it up. Let me look that up right quick. I do want to.
I will say this: this game makes me miss one particular game, and I hope we get a sequel for it. I don't know if y'all played it. Sleeping Dogs.
Sleeping Dogs.
I have not played
you know
it
what
yet.
I actually thought?
It's the grown-up Grand Theft Auto.
There you go. I want that.
I was thinking because I'm going to make a video here soon, and I was thinking about like games that people can bring forward and really invest into them. And I was thinking if someone like Sony, Microsoft, and probably Microsoft because Microsoft needs to invest more into that third person genre, if they bought, Sleeping Dogs and they let like the initiative or someone really expert at third person, maybe not the initiative because they're making a first person, which I don't know why they did that, but we're not going to get into that. It's completely off the radar. But if they would really invest into that and give that a proper budget, give that a lot of time to really cook, I think that could compete with something like an Uncharted. It's just you gotta, because if you think about it, first off, if you really let,
oh my God,
what?
Shout out to 706 Gamer. He's right. They did get this idea from the game that he mentioned, Chronos Before the Ashes. I'm looking at it now. My fault. Yo, that's wild. Well, you can be inspired by somebody and improve on it.
A lot of these companies take inspiration from one other in one aspect or another.
That's the polite way to say we stole. We go.
But there you go. We stole.
But I mean, to be honest with you,
Sleeping Dogs need to happen.
I'm upset that there ain't more stealing going on in this industry. Like why? I
said that about the Nemesis system.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was about to say. Why hasn't no one stole the Nemesis system? Let's be honest here, chat. Tell me why they can't take that damn system. I'm sorry. Why is it something like Star Renegade, a small indie developer, is making something like the Nemesis system, but no other developer has taken that? It is beyond crazy to me. It is what it is. Like, I'm not going to say that you need to jack their stuff. Obviously, make it your own. Don't just jack exactly what they do. Make it make sense. But why has no one took that damn system?
I will say this, man. If Sony acquires Square Enix, you could see us Sleeping Dogs too.
But when you say Sleeping Dogs, like that puts me. What the mind frame it put me in is like that's direct competition for a Grand Theft Auto. Somebody in the chat mentioned True Crimes as well. True Crimes is underrated.
It was
that joint underrated. I like
Streets of LA. Streets of LA was one of my favorites.
You play as Snoop Dogg. You can play as Snoop Dogg.
New York Police. Stop.
you can play as Snoop Dogg for sure. And it didn't have to be as realistic, but I remember having that game on the OG Xbox. That game was super fun. But when I just took a look at. Shout out with 706 when he said that, I'm like, damn, they really did take that. But it's all good. Shout out to Slow Clap, man. Hopefully they should be acquired though. I think somebody need to go pick them up if they can.
So, one of you want to read this individual's name? I got a $5 cheaper at from
CFO Poetic X Initiative.
CFO Poetic X Initiative. If we butchered that, I'm gonna have to. You're gonna have to look in the mirror and blame yourself for making that name. All right.
I want to see if I got it right.
Well, what's funny is Soft says it crazy nice, but I'm not Soft, so you're gonna have to. We got at Slow Clap should join someone else. I'm sure it's another developer in making the Wong. Oh, it's probably the people. The Wu-Tang came. So at Slow Clap has been honing their engine since the first game. I agree, but I want them to stay separate because I feel like both of them can make solid experiences. But I am on this more thing where I do feel like Sifu, Sony needs to acquire that studio because that studio cries their classic nurturing. This studio needs nurturing. This studio needs funds to be ran through it. If you're going to actually bet on something, bet on this studio. And I feel like, especially where like Sony's kind of backed away from like the Asian culture in their games, I feel like this would be a good way stepping back into it. We got a $2 super chat from BitCloud Game. We are too old. Our eyes aren't what they used to be. Look, man, it is what it is.
Facts.
You able to read that though?
Hey, Sifu X Initiative. Did I get your name right though? Like that's what I'm asking. I wonder if I got it right. I'm just curious. But nah, that's
so. Yeah. All right, we got the main event. The main event of the evening. Platinum Games wants to finish Scalebound.
Yeah, I bet they do.
So let's break this down. Let's break this down. First thing I want to talk about is, do you think that Microsoft needs a Scalebound these days? We're going to go with hustle and motivate first.
No, you got Call of Duty. Was all but certain you got Call of Duty. No, you don't need it. You don't need it. If I were them, first of all, they got more than enough studios the way if they really want to put out Scalebound, they could actually go do that. They could probably get the Coalition to go put out Scalebound if we really being real about it. With that Unreal Engine 5, can you imagine how that's going to look? You got
it could be a
studios.
passion project for them.
Yep. Hey man, come on, man. Come on. No, they don't. Not only do they not need it, but they don't need Platinum Games either. But no, I don't want to jump ahead. I'm gonna slow my road just a little bit. I'm gonna hit y'all with some facts in a little bit. But no, they don't.
We're definitely gonna go into like the actual studio and whether or not Microsoft should trust them into investing into another shot at Scalebound. So let's go to BitCloud. Do you think that Microsoft needs Scalebound? Considering they are getting better, I do think they still lack that type of games.
Yeah. I mean, they got Doom, they got Call of Duty. That's really all you feel your recipe right now compared to a Scalebound. But if we're talking about mending the flame, so to speak, people still hold on Microsoft for the whole Scalebound not working on the Xbox. I do think if they wanted to make up for that, it would be smart to get them, let them do it. But at the same time, is it worth the investment, so to speak? You know what I mean? It's up in the air. It's a toss-up. I mean, you can flip a coin at it, to be honest, and just say it like that. Now, if they gave them Unreal Engine 5 and let them have the tools of the trade, I ain't gonna lie, I would be lying to you. I would be lying to you if I said I wouldn't be interested in seeing how it will look. You know what I mean? With that type of approach with those assets.
You can get that super chat.
Awesome. Sifu X Initiative. Yes, you did, sir. Thank you very much. It said, I'm too old. Wait, hold on. I'm old too, bet. Yeah, we all old over here. For the record.
29, man. I got bad.
29.
I'm 30.
It's the 30.
There you go.
All right, y'all.
Yeah, my knees already started to jerk when I walk.
Don't worry about it. BitCloud know when you turn 30, he's gonna wake up. It's gonna be cold one morning. And it's gonna happen to you. It's gonna be cold one morning. You like, yo, do I gotta get out of bed? It's gonna hurt. Don't worry about it. I'm 36, by the way. Every day is a struggle.
So you old when you know what time it is by looking at the day.
So back to what we were talking about, like as far as if Xbox needs this game, I don't think they do, but I do think if it was done right, it would help their portfolio, especially give them more of like a Japanese style games because they do that well. I do believe we are the only console manufacturer that haven't had a Platinum Games exclusive. So, if they can make a Scalebound that is the quality of the other stuff they've made for PlayStation, the stuff they made for the Nintendo Switch, I feel like it would be worth the investment. Now let's go into if Microsoft should trust Platinum Games into making this, because this is a big thing. Like, if you guys remember correctly, it was bad when this got canceled. Like, were you keeping up with this stuff back then, Hustle?
Did you remember the gameplay reveal?
Well,
oh, you mean that
gameplay reveal looked
the
kinda
gameplay
crazy,
reveal where like it showed the dragon and it was running at like 12 frames.
2 frames. Yeah,
it was so bad.
007 frames. Yeah, it ran pretty bad. The thing that I kept up with it was I remember the project got canceled, and I remember when it got canceled. And when they tried to blame Platinum tried to blame Microsoft. Microsoft was like, nah, that wasn't us. That was y'all. Y'all know it was y'all. And then later on, Platinum had came out, I guess the former CEO. He came out with an apology. It was like, yo, we effed up. That was all bad. And when I remember seeing that, and even now, like when I saw that news article today, at when you sent it to me via IGN, shout out to, oh my God, he was one of the first people in the chat. He had dropped, oh my God, I'm sorry for not getting your credit, bro. You know who you are. I think it was, no, Brett Bingham. It was Brett Bingham in the chat was like, yo, yeah, hustle. The CEO left like 3 weeks ago. And that's why all these talks are coming up again. So I went and looked it up as, did my due diligence. And Brett Bingham was 100% right. So if that's anything to go by, it sounds like there was a real issue at the top. The way it was like, nah, we don't want no parts of this. And now that that gentleman's gone, and I might kill old buddy name saying it. Yeah, there we go. Tushia, and oh my God, hold on. I'm gonna put his name in the chat. Damn that. I'll put this name in the chat. Wait, you ain't gonna get me like that. Y'all ain't getting me. This guy right here. Y'all saw who it is. Y'all look at the chat. You see my little thing. Pause. Y'all see my.
Is that the new CEO?
That's the new CEO. He wants to take it back over. So,
Suchi Naba.
Yes.
And you know what
Suchi Naba.
You know what it could be? This individual probably saw what happened back then, and it always made him feel away. You know what I'm saying? Because look, Microsoft got a lot of the heat for this, but I'm sure industry wise, like on the publisher side, all the blame internally was always put on was Platinum Games. And I'm sure there was a lot of publishers that saw something like this and was like, not necessarily they won't work with them, but it was like, we're going to have to be really cautious when we work with Platinum Games. And I'm willing to bet that happened for a while. They might still be getting some backlash for what that happened. Because in the actual statements, he said, he apologized to the fans and to Microsoft because they trusted them as a partner. And he seemed like he just wanted to correct the mistake. Like,
yeah, but Platinum, because I did Platinum, I did some research on Platinum anyway. Don't they work on like multiple games at once? And I don't know how big their studio is, but they have a reputation for doing stuff like that. Like, if Platinum slowed down, we'd get more titles like a Bayonetta. Regardless of what people may think about Bayonetta.
I feel like the only way
I had a little time with it.
Blame Nintendo on that one.
I feel like the only way that Platinum is going to slow down is if someone buys them and gives them income because one of the reasons that they do what they do is because it's the only way to keep the lights on. Like they have to take multiple projects to get multiple sets of income to feed it into work. Because usually they'll take on multiple incomes and they'll feed it into one game and sell that game. And I get it. We got a $5 super chat from the Doctor 63. Devil May Cry plus Panda Dragoon. Hashtag just one. Well, Cognito's not here, so definitely feel free. See, I've never played Panzer Dragoon or whatever it's called. I'm gonna be
real with you. I think you'll like it. I'm the no cap. I really think you will like it for real. It's not it's a flying third person game. I think you'll like it for real. So, I think you'll enjoy it.
All right, so Big Cloud, do you think that Microsoft should invest and trust Platinum Games if they were actually entertaining this? Would you personally let that trust and investment go out?
I mean, if they're owned by Microsoft, then that means Microsoft has the final say in terms of how they go about it, right?
No, I'm not talking about buying them. I'm talking about just making Scalebound.
Oh, just make a Scalebound. It's tough, man, because their track record's not over the top. I mean, look at Bayonetta on the Switch, for God's sake. Even though I blame the Switch for that. I'm just personally, I would say, if they wanted to remove the stain from their shirt, which is Scalebound being canceled on the Xbox. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people still hold that against them to this day. If they wanted to amend that and make up for it type of thing and be like, yo, this is our apology and let them make the right game. Now they have a more accessible console. Sure, if they wanted to do that. The question is, how much is that project? You know what I mean? Is it worth the investment? And personally, it comes down to them. They have to make it worth that investment. They have to show off, you know what I mean? That it's worth. So it's worth it. Because the first gameplay we saw of, I remember it was only got 3 frames. It was really bad. Everybody was going, oh, it's just the video. I remember people were damaged showing that. They were like, oh, it's the video, or the stream was lagging. I'm like, no, that's the
stream wasn't lagging that bad.
It was not lagging that bad. So they definitely, if they want to make something ambitious, you got to make sure you show that your improvement since then. You see, I'm going like your direction since then. Have you improved since we first ever saw Scalebound? And then I would say, yeah, it's worth investing in and doing that.
So okay, here's my standpoint. I think Microsoft should invest into it if it is an option and Phil Spencer is interested. I do think it needs to be monitored heavily because at the end of the day, like if someone robs you, you don't just actively give them money later. Like, you're like, you know, someone owed you money and they didn't give you money, but you dumb enough to give them money again. This time you're probably going to send a bouncer over there to collect your money. So, you know, that's my standpoint on that. Now, hear me out, guys. Imagine an E3 moment, because we don't know if E3 is coming back, where that they got that digital event, and they say, we got one more game for you. And then they do this clever marketing where they don't tell you the game. But at the end, it shows that Devil May Cry Dante looking character, whatever his name was, and he showed up on the stage on the video, and his dragon showed up behind him, breathed in front of him, and it said Scalebound coming out in 2023. Would that set the internet on fire?
Yeah, it was a stealth announcement. Oh yeah, where they just show like the banner. Yeah, yeah, that'd be fire. They did that with the Order 18. Like that right there would be like a mic drop moment for a lot of people. Just like if Sony was to go with the Order 2, you know what I mean? Like it would be like a banner. They don't have to show gameplay. They ain't got to show no sounds or nothing. Just be like, by the way, guys, we have a very special announcement. He walks away, banner gets showed, and then the team comes out and talks about the project. So yeah, I agree.
Underrated. The Order 1886, hella underrated. I know a lot of people don't like it because of the quick. They make it. They really don't like it because of the quick time cutscenes in that game.
Yeah,
like
the
Gears
link.
of War, dog. It's like Gears of War. Like the joint cool. That joint was cool to me. I'm at the part where you team up with the spoiler alert. I'm at the part where you team up with the Indian girl when something's amiss or something's afoot.
Yeah, you find out. Yeah, you beat it, right? You beat the game.
Not yet.
You beat it?
No, I played it and I put it down.
So
okay.
What I want to bring up when it comes to Scalebound, and I see a lot of people in the chat saying it's past, we need to leave it in the past. I agree with you. This game could easily stay in the past. It wouldn't bother me. But we got 230 people in the chat, man. Hit that like button. Let's get that over 100 likes before the end of the show.
Hold on. Before we even go on, shout out to Hip Hop Gamer in the chat. Hey, you might be on to something when it comes to that PlayStation backwards compatibility, sir. I'm just saying, you might be on to something, man. He
already know. That's my brother.
We've
been saying that for
the longest. You know what you just said, Hip Hop? You should have tagged. Well, not tagged. Let's not be that messy. But you should have put a post on Twitter that said, when you guys write about this, when he gets announced, just make sure you spell my name right.
That's right. For sure, sir.
I've been telling people that like a lot of stuff that Hip Hop's talking about is a long-term goal for PlayStation.
And they better get on it.
Yeah, it's a long-term goal. It's not something that's going to drop in one patch. It's something they have to build towards. That's why they're doing all this stuff and changing the format and whatnot. Now they're fixing something we've been asking for the longest, and that is multiplayer games. We need those on PlayStation.
Ooh, side note, before we move on, I'm getting the OGP. I'm getting the George Foreman Grill PS3. So I can play PS1 and PS2 and PS3 games. No, sir. I'm definitely about to go. I like retro stuff. I missed a lot of
I stopped questioning him a long time ago, Big Cloud.
No, when he said that, I just thought about Mystic when he made the damn console into a legit grill. Like he bought a shell on the PS3 and put the George Foreman grill in there and made it. I'm like, really?
Well, that's a shame. But I'm definitely confident though. What's up?
Let me finish that statement real quick. Like, when it comes to why I think this would be a big deal, it's not necessarily about completing anything that they need, because I don't think they need Scalebound. It's not about completing something that they want, because I don't think they necessarily want Scalebound. I think it's about correcting the past. And I think it's about moving on with that scenario. Like Big Cloud, it's been 5-6 years since all that happened, and they still ask Phil Spencer almost yearly, at least 2 or 3 people, what happened with Scalebound.
Or they'll use an argument like, well, oh yeah, Microsoft is so trustworthy. Did y'all forget about Scalebound? It's like, okay, and how about we take that from them? We we give them that shot, and we give them that redemption game, and it become this passion, because they can't say nothing if it's legit what they envision it to be all those years ago, and when it delivers and it's fire. I mean, hell, nobody can say nothing.
And I just feel like, PR wise, coming out with Scalebound would be. I think there's 2 games that Microsoft can hit: Rise Son of Rome sequel and Scalebound. If any of those showed up on a stage, the internet's going to catch on fire. The media is going to gravitate so hardcore to Microsoft, it's unreal. I could just see the title lines now. Microsoft revives fan favorite. Or Microsoft does this. Like, when is the last time you guys heard of a game getting canceled and being brought back 6-7 years later? Like, it doesn't happen often.
I mean, Phil Spencer was just in the interview, I forget with whom, but after the Activision deal, he was like, yeah, we try and bring back Guitar Hero, and as well as a couple of other old favorites.
Hey,
so
if you bring back Guitar Hero, bring back DJ Hero. That's all I got to say.
They're not going to do that one. They're not
bring back DJ Hero. Let's talk about that.
They ain't going to do that, Big Cloud. But it's just the thing. If they want to go back and dig in the crates, so to speak, and do that, like I said, again, they don't need PlatinumGames to make that game. And if I were Microsoft, even though they don't need it, if I were them, I would have something like that in the tuck anyway, just to be like, we got a new thing over here that's kind of like a Panzer Dragon type thing or whatever. I would do it just for the versatility of what you had.
But I will say that it does look like Microsoft's been real comfortable here lately with hiring third-party developers making games. Like I'm very confident that Capcom is making a Killer Instinct. I don't know when it will come out.
Wait, hold on, Capcom.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it was Capcom.
The Capcom who had Street Fighter V exclusive to PlayStation. I know PlayStation.
Look, man,
I know Sony funded it.
I think first off,
Capcom at it.
I look, at the end of the day,
okay,
that's what's going around the Twitter streets. You can watch multiple podcasts hearing that,
right.
But
I think they got their mind.
Well, look. I personally don't feel like Capcom's the right move, but if that is the direction that they're going, I personally feel like they should have bought a studio, just one studio, from someone that makes head-to-head fighters, and say, we want you to make Killer Instinct. And I think that would have worked out so well. I honestly feel like, too, that one of the biggest issues that they're having is they got some of these Namco. That's who it is. It's
Namco Bandai. I was about to say.
Thank
you very much.
Okay.
I was about to cut you off to say that.
It is not Capcom. It's Namco. That's who it is. And I honestly feel like the people who make Guilty Gear, I don't know who they are. They're like some A name. I'm pretty sure the chat is going to correct me. That's what the chat does. So
it's on the tip of my tongue too. Pause.
I feel like that studio could make a great Killer Instinct. It's similar graphics, and I'm one of those people that I'm selfish in my own ways, but I still want everybody to eat. It's just I want to eat first. So, I would appreciate. That's why the WB Studios meant so much to me, because I would have wanted them to pick up that over something. Arc Systems, yes, Arc Systems works. Yes, I would have preferred someone pick up WB Games over something like Activision. Sure, Activision makes the most sense industry wise because they have those yearly thing, but to me, when it comes to portfolio and what Microsoft is missing, I felt like WB Games made the most sense because they would have
superhero
rock steady to make their superhero games. They could literally go to anyone they wanted to, and with $60 billion that they bought WB, they could have probably bought Batman's whole damn licensing for that much money.
Well, I thought it wasn't up for sale though. I thought, well,
no, they bid for it. They bid for it, but they decided if Microsoft would have dropped the kind of energy they dropped into Activision, they would own WB right now. Like, and it's like NetherRealm. I felt like they would have got NetherRealm from WB, and and they would have got the Mortal Kombat license, because that they did confirm that was coming with the sale. And imagine if the first game they put out there was Mortal Kombat versus Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here for the versus game.
The wild part though, I don't think they care as much about fighters. Even though they got some games, I don't think they care as much.
Do you think
the reason why I said because of Evo?
Yeah, that's what I said. Do you think it's because of
Evo? Yeah. Sony's put more effort into fighting games. They got this new patent going around where you can bet on your favorite fighters, stuff like that. They're trying to build. You can you be hype men in the crowd. That's how the patents work. You can go, I'm team this guy, and throw money like, yo, my bid's this, that, and the third type of thing. So that's why I think with the acquisitions going around, I think it's probably more likely to be Capcom for Sony, just so they can get Street Fighter.
Oh, hold on. Them games finna be fixed, by the way. Go ahead and continue, Big Cloud. Somebody gonna get their Pete Rose on, and go ahead. I'm a chill.
But I think Capcom's the next one for them, hands down. Since it's going around that something about Japanese acquisitions Microsoft can't do or something like that. I read or something like that. I forgot what it was. I saw it recently, but it was
I think in order for Microsoft to even acquire a company in Japan, they have to own. Right. In Japan.
They own Tego Studios. They own Tego Studios.
Oh, well, there you go there.
I don't know. I still need to get Hogan here and ask him how these things work. I'm gonna reach out to him in the next couple weeks to come on here. Yeah. Because I'm still like I've been told on the back end that don't believe that. Like, it's technically there, but what I've been told is you could easily find your ways around that law. Like, and I think a lot of it has to do with like Japan themselves invest into some of these companies, but I know they don't do it with everyone, because I don't think they do it with Sony anymore. I think that when it comes to a certain point, like, I don't know if Sony doesn't want them doing it, or maybe the Japan government pulled out for their own reasons. You know what I'm saying? I don't know exactly what's going on there. I'm not over there. I'm just telling you what like I see on the internet and stuff.
Side note, real quick. Apparently, someone in Saudi Arabia, I don't know if he's like a prince or
he's been investing into billions of pretty much everybody. Like a lot of people have been trying to buy stocks into a lot of stuff, like especially Capcom, because Capcom got some hitters,
man. Boy, don't they?
They got some hitters, and we don't see them. Like, where's the Mega Mints?
Here is this one. Do you think maybe they're making that Platinum Games is making this type of public statement? Because this is a big public statement to literally come out there and say, it was our fault. We the one that cheated. We the ones that spent the life savings. Like, we did all of this wrong. You think they might be trying to like mend that fence a little bit to be like, yo, let's work together a little bit. Maybe you come in the back. Maybe after this game and we prove ourselves, you come in the back door with the bag and you buy the company. Like,
I mean, look at it like this. You're known for one of the biggest fails in a long time next to Cyberpunk, right? You're known for that. Your game's known for that. And then you're also known for being probably the only publisher to blame the actual publisher for your mistakes. Even though the publisher's idea or the publisher's responsibility is to advertise said game. That's about it. It's your job to make sure it works because it's your game.
Well, I mean, we can't say that 100% because I do know that Microsoft did seem like they were pushing like a co-op experience into the game. So, because if you look at that article, they do bring up in the article that was one of the reasons they're having such a hard time, is because they're not used to working with those kind of systems. But it's just like, at the end of the day, you're still a developer. That's why I talk about diversity. Like, when it comes to making sure developers are diverse in the type of games they make, because there's certain studios like the people who make Horizon Zero Dawn, Guerrilla Games, they were making a first-person shooter before that. So they diversed that all the way over there. And I'm not saying that it wasn't because they didn't hire talent that was working with those type of games, but my question is, why didn't Platinum hire talent that was working with those type of games? or at least contractors that have experience in multiplayer experience games. They didn't do none of that. And I can't say that it's in a bad thing or anything like that. I can't say anything. I don't know what happened. All I do know is that all of a sudden, it seems like Platinum Games is interested in making Scalebound out of nowhere. Sure, they've came out openly said that they would like to, but they've never been this vocal. And I personally feel like in the back of their mind, if we come out there and we do our best and we give them a game that's Game of the Year material, they might buy us out and we can stop with these 8-game rotations. Like,
so saying you never bite the hand that feeds you, though.
See, because now they got to heal the hand. They got to do that, they got to do that Far Cry thing where they ripping the bullet out, and then they got to nurture the hand back to health.
Nah, they're going out like Ethan and what's that? Resident Evil 7. Them boys it's over. It's over.
I don't losing limbs and then putting them back.
Yep, and then you can't. I don't think you can piece this one back together though, dog. I don't think because for all intents and purposes, they're not needed. Like honestly, they aren't needed. Like we being real with the spree that Microsoft did. They got 30+ studios. Like if somebody wants to make Scalebound or remake it or make it,
now,
the thing is though is
Nintendo buys them. How did y'all feel about that?
I think that would make a better sense. Because
they stay working with them like that. Yeah, that makes more sense. But it's not like they can't buy the IP. But Nintendo and Microsoft, buddy, Phil might just be like, hey, I throw you a little bone or whatever. Like he might do that. He very well may do that, but I wouldn't be tripping off that.
I just feel like it's not necessary to get Scalebound. But man, if that game came out and it was, imagine BitCloud in one E3, they announced a Rise Center Rome 2 in Scalebound in the same conference.
Yeah, he just said, hey guys, at one point we made a mistake.
We just fixed it.
Phil was like, we made a mistake in the past and we want to make it right. I'm very happy to announce or make these two announcements. You see them back to back. It's just Scalebound.
And then
it says Rise 2, the world goes crazy.
And if you think about it, they already brought Fable back. So they corrected that. That would be the last two that would kind of it would really it would be one of those things where it's like we have openly admitted that both parties have done wrong in the past, but we're here to fix it. And I think it would give them a lot of PR, extremely positive PR.
Yep.
I think all you would see is Microsoft's for the players, Microsoft's for the developers. Microsoft gives second chances.
Right.
Right.
Before we move on or before we end, where did y'all hear this Bandai Namco rumor that they're doing Killer Instinct? I know you said it was in Twitter Spaces or podcast. I figured you was joking around, but is there some type of valid source that I can take a look at? Because that to me would be a little different. Because for those of you who don't know, for those of y'all who don't know, one of my favorite games on Nintendo Switch was made by Bandai Namco, and that's Super Smash Bros. The game Super Fire. I don't care what nobody got to say.
At this point, I love that game.
I see.
At this point, Microsoft needs to make a studio and hire nothing but ex-Super Smash Bros. devs and make a Super Smash Bros. For the play Xbox. And because at this point, they have Banjo-Kazooie, they have the Doom Slayer, they have Halo, they have Arbiter, they have all the people from Gears, all the people from Sea of Thieves. They have so many iconic franchises. They have Spyro. No, I don't want the new R-Stars. Let's be no. That's why I said that you hire the people that made the real GOAT, which is Super Smash Brothers. And I honestly think that you get that. They're going to be fine if they don't do shit, we're saying. Let's be real here. Apparently, Ches Corden said it somewhere. We're not going out there and putting misinformation. The chat says Ches Corden, so we're going to...
That's what y'all said.
That's what the chat said. You could take that how you will. But I would like a Scalebound, not for me personally, just to show that Microsoft is trying to correct past mistakes. And that would be really nice because you got it with Fable, but I do feel like Scalebound was that one time in the Xbox history where I felt the hate. I generally, it was bad, Hustle. It was bad. I was YouTubing back then. It was bad. But anyway, what do you guys got anything else to say about this? Platinum Games wants to make Scalebound.
Well, in closing, it sounded like the former CEO said something, or probably did something he shouldn't have did, and now that he's out, it's hey, can we get back good again? And they, Microsoft, they might say, you know what, come on, let's get back good again. They don't need to. Again, I'm gonna stand on that one and say they don't need to, but they probably. They probably just haven't saw something else. But piece of advice for Platinum though, because they got a lot of good games. Like I saw Nier Automata on that list, and they got like Bayonetta. They got good stuff over there. I would just say try to work on stuff one at a time. And I know Addict you said something earlier about are they trying to get acquired? I mean, if I had the brand, honestly, I probably would pick them up. Like I would literally
or something, yeah.
Just for
confirmed. Hustle is in talks with Platinum Games right now to pick them up.
Oh man. I almost cursed on here. Oh man, yeah, I wish I had the money to do so. They'd be working on one thing at a time. It'd be a masterpiece. I tell you,
everything would be quality. They're like, well, what we used to do this. I don't care.
I don't care what you used to do. Everybody, slow down.
I will say this though, it seems like a lot of these CEOs though, low key, are like the cause of a lot of stuff, especially morale. Like I noticed, like the morale seems to have gone up after this acquisition news. You know what I mean? Like everybody's excited for it, and that's a brighter future that can lead to better games, and better focus on quality. So obviously Platinum Games, the CEO leaving, I don't know, Addict, there's possibly, there's a possibility of a light, you know what I mean? Then the tunnel type of thing where they can give you lightning in a bottle type of thing if it's done right.
And see, I think I'm more on that. Microsoft's done so well with giving us studios that's promising to bring us good IPs in the future. I'm at this point where I want them to hit us with shock value.
Yeah.
Like, Activision, I felt like, I don't know about you guys, but I felt like Bethesda hit me more than Activision did. And maybe it's because Bethesda was the first real big purchase like that. And Activision, when I heard it, I was like, well, that makes sense. They got the money. I didn't think it was possible to Bethesda. But when they bought Bethesda, I generally did not expect that. Like, because they bought Bethesda, I think it made me accept that they could buy another big publisher, if that makes sense. But when they bought Bethesda, I was like, oh my God, that's literally what I did. Like this, like. But anyway, what do you guys got going on with you guys? What you got going on, Hustle? I know you got something.
Yeah, well, working behind the scenes with like the new stream setup. As y'all can tell, I was kind of experimenting with a few different lights, but be back on Twitch hopefully next week. Hopefully, like next Friday, I'll be able to kick everything back off. I'm gonna have to get a few things in order first, but Twitch.tv, Hustle and Motivate. Same thing with Twitter. You follow me there too. But I'm gonna finish Uncharted, and then I'm gonna take a little break. I'm gonna take a little break because I wanna take y'all back. Say, Hustle, how far you want to go back? I want to go way back. I want to go way back too. Bang, bang.
Oh, my God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I told you, man. I
value
told
my
you,
retro
Big
games.
Cloud. I don't question him anymore.
How about we go a little back, not all the way back? How about you finish the order first, then you go back to that?
You know what I should.
That Sekiro. You know what you could play, Hustle. You can play Sifu, Gifu, Zivu. You could play that game.
Play Shaq Fu. Play Shaq Fu.
We definitely passing on both of those. We're passing on both of those things. I promise you that. At least Sifu looks cool. Shaq Fu, man.
Shaq Fu had the cover.
Look, man,
he had the cover. He's like
Shaq Fu 2. For those of you all who don't know,
how did that game get a sequel?
Shaq paid for it. What you mean?
Shaq
paid for it. TNT money, NBA money, he paid for it.
The same reason why Superman 64 didn't get a sequel.
Hey, Big Cloud Gaming, what you got going on for you, man?
You already know, man. Fridays, RGT Podcast, 5 p.m. EST. Guys want to check us out? It's on the channel, Big Cloud Gaming. All my work for IGN should be hopefully posted this month, so I'm just chilling right now.
Let's go.
Getting hyped because I'm waiting for the okay. I don't know if I'm going to cover Elden Ring or Horizon or what. I don't know. I'm waiting. Otherwise, I'm going to have to buy these games. That's the reason why I didn't even buy Sifu. I was sitting there going, are they going to call me for this? And I was like, and I see this one guy. I'm like, you lucky bastard. So some dudes on the list got certain games, but we'll see if I get it. And if I get it, then I'll obviously start my cover. But yeah, that's what I've been doing.
And I definitely appreciate everyone coming out. We had up to like 240, 50 people in here. The Attic Show's definitely growing. It's like I said, I do know that all of this looks basic as hell.
Can we get one more like to hit 100, please?
Can we get two more likes to hit 100, please? We're at 98. Hustle's OCD's gonna get him. So
I'm gonna go crazy.
For Hustle's mental health, hit that like button. For Hustle's mental
what's going
health,
on with this
like
feel
button.
the glow type of mentality I've been seeing now with Addy? You know this thing's like feel the glow. I want glow this, glow that for the layout. What's going on, bro?
I just want to look.
What's going on?
Look, man, I'm
so you need more glow, huh?
Look. I want to look presentable. All right, like all these black bars. This ain't it. Like this ain't it. Like no. Like so, I'm a reach out. We're gonna get this taken care of. I'm a really look into. King wants me to do an intro and stuff like we have on ILP. That's coming later. That's not my priority. My priority.
You can already get one though. Well, no, not intro.
That's the ILP intro.
Yeah.
My priority is making sure the podcast looks good. Then we'll move on to the intro and stuff like that. We'll move on to that then. But I appreciate everyone coming through, man. We're going to go ahead and close this out of here. And until next time. And next week, I'll probably try to get Maddie play on. I'm going to try. It just depends